Okay, so here we are. We're going to fix some stuff up. So what I shared yesterday, I noticed, and this is just a good opportunity to test this all out, that my initial Woodlands data set was a bit of a butchered data set. I actually don't know where it came from. So I was looking through the Woodlands data set, which you can search up on the files on the community. And here's the file that I just pulled down. So you can see it doesn't have the extra rows, which I referred to as columns yesterday, but it doesn't have the extra rows. But it also has the remarks in it. Okay, so that was missing from that other file, and maybe one or two other things here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go the files that are in my Git repo, wherever you choose to put your Git repo. Recommend, right to the main drive. Not too many um, folders deep. And there's the column mapper. So this is the same. You can see there's nothing changed here yet. So you're not actually going to have a separate file on your desktop. This will be the same file. It's just the history that gets logged to these files in this folder is getting logged to the Git repo. So when I create that branch, I will now be working in the same folder as the original one. And then I'll make the edits. And when I push those edits, it'll update the main, it'll update that. And then we have the option to, merge that branch with the main. So I'll come back to that in a minute. Just give me a minute here. I'll go to the next step. Okay, so I didn't really do anything. I just gather my thoughts here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to your folder, main folder. This is how I do it. There's other ways you can access it, but if I just want to edit with Claude Code, I just open up my terminal like that, right click, and we're there. So now you just type Claude there, and then, as I said yesterday, give it a minute. It's working in the background. There's no obvious signs that it is, but it is. There you go. That just switched to cloud. So now, here we go. Do I trust? Yes, I trust. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to do a couple edits here. So what I'm going to do is, okay, so you can see, I'm going to fire up that app again. Boom. I am going to load my profile again. So even though it's got some missing data and all that, it's going to map up a lot of stuff that I might have already spent time doing. So we'll browse for that. And, oh, hang on a second here. There's that last mapping profile I used. So it's going to load that up again. And then I'm going to go down, I'm going to upload. So I downloaded that new data. I put it into this folder. So you put it wherever you want, but and again, you can find that on the CA community forum. So it's uploaded there. Okay, so now it takes a second or two and it populates here. Okay, now as you remember from yesterday, we had this field here that we're just not going to map. We don't have an off-market date in the source data, and so we're going to carry on without that. Okay, so then I've sort of already been and just went through, and you would go through and just compare, make sure these are all correct. Oh, there is also the AP. Now, also you could search any character, NP. So oops, APN. Okay, so there's the PIN number. Again, if you weren't sure what was in there, you click on that. It'll show you kind of what's in that data. So there's the APN number. I've assigned that. And then you can see we've got a couple others here. We've got a suggested one. Again, it's got the fuzzy match suggestion that's coming from the code that's built in the app there. And so it's already found that styles and stories matches to stories. It's not spell it same spelling or anything, but it managed to figure that one out. Okay, so and then there was the neighborhoods. Now, these okay. So we've got two remarks in the Woodlands data set. We've got sales remarks, which is sort of the inside confidential remarks, and we've got public remarks, and it also matched those correctly. Okay, so now we're down at that screen now. We apply the update mapping again. So now here's our fields that aren't mapped yet, and we don't have anything corresponding in the destination data set that we're going to use at this time. Okay, again, here's the ones that are not mapped. Okay, so we can show all the mappings. That just pops up and basically shows you what you already know. We can apply the mappings, finalize that. Okay, so now, because we've got the remarks in here, so this is something I could go and edit in the code. Maybe that's what I'll do. And now we can see those same charts populated, basically the same as they were yesterday. So it was the same data, just a different file and a couple of missing columns, interestingly enough. So, okay, so that's that. So now I'm going to flip over back to Claude, who I've got running. It doesn't matter that you can stop the app or whatever, but okay, so now I'm going to ask Claude how to fix that. So just let me type that up and then we'll proceed. Okay, I'm just going to type in here that the data table has large text fields that cause the table to expand and take up too much screen space vertically. Okay. Okay, so I just said do not truncate the text fields, but limit the field display so that the table will fit in the allotted area, because we don't want it to clip off, because that can be done too. You can have it clip, only put in the first 100 or so characters, whatever, but we want to keep all the comments. So let's just see what he says. Now, there's a little setting here that you're going to read about. You can have Alt M, so you can have accept edits on. You can change it to plan mode. So this tells you that Claude's going to come up with a plan and ask before he does anything. And then there's like the default mode, which I'm still trying to figure out what. I think that sort of does some edits, and you kind of have to choose. You have to allow any sort of critical ones. So, well, let's just start. It's already started, so I don't think it'll do it till the next request. So we'll see what it comes up with here. Okay, can take a few minutes, a couple minutes as it's going through and rewriting all the code. We're creating the new code to edit. But I'll just pause it here for a second. Okay, so he's still working on stuff there. Okay, so after a bit of time there, you can see, okay, so Claude's come up with a solution. He says, well, you can read that. And asking now if I want to accept the edits. So you can choose one, accept edits, or two, yes, and manually approve edits. Okay, so let's just go with one. Quite often, you're just going to go with one, unless it's something really sort of critical and you really want to know exactly what it's up to. Then quite often you just go with one. Okay, so he's working on that. Okay, so he's still going through it. He's made a list of to-dos here, and he's knocking things off the list, writing code, testing. All right. Okay. So he's done what he said he was going to do and put it all down here for us. So let's see what he did. So it edited the code. So you go back to the folder, column mapper, and we should see that the column mapper R is now updated to today's date. Yeah, there it is, 1:40, so a minute ago. So it's editing the code right in your machine. Um, so you're not having to sort of copy paste whatever. Okay, so let's run it. Column map, oops. It doesn't matter which one I run. Um, I don't think it does anyways, if I recall. Um, just going to run the app, whether I run it from the launcher or the app itself. Let's find out. Maybe he did make it to run need to run from the app itself. So I'm just going to close those things, stop, sweep, clean all that up, back to the app, go to the launcher. Okay, so that fired up the app. Run app, boom. Okay, there it is again. Do on a little more profile. Yes, I'll just do the profile. Now I didn't save my new mapping profile last time, so I'll have to, oops, I'll have to, do those couple little tweaks again. Oh, yeah. Need out of there. Woodlands. Okay, so that's matching those columns up. Okay. There you go. There's that style stories. We're going to accept that one. Oh yeah, there's this one here that we still want to make sure it's not going to match up. So there you go. And then back down here. Okay, there's that one. We've got these ones still here. So that's the confidential, salespeople, public, public. Okay, so update unmapped columns. Okay, so that's all the same as last time. Apply mappings and finalize. Let's see, did he do it first shot? Yeah, pretty much. Gave us what he said he was going to do. Give us a scrollable box here, because last time you saw it was, taken up. I had to scroll down the screen, but now he gave us a scrollable box, so I could still just see that all the data is in there. Okay, so that is how easy it is to edit. Now, all right, so now, just make sure everything worked. Nothing's broken. Everything's working. Okay. And let's just double check, because this is where you start getting in trouble. You start rushing ahead. Like he just made you a major update with really quickly to a really, great app. So two things we're going to do here. We can save that new mapping, save mapping profile. That click button. Yeah, so we're going to save that as, okay, well, that's fine, whatever. Accept that name. And then you just save that in a place where you know where it is, and that's what you're going to load when you want to come back in and load in a new data set. Okay, so there you go. And like once you have your mapping done, it's just load, done. It's there. Now, let's see here. And then we'll download the mapped data. Just call it whatever you want, or you can accept the name it gives it. There you go. Okay, so that's that done. So this is a couple tools we're working on here. One is, just that ability to transform your data, make it functional with an app or any given app. And if this was part of the main analysis app, we'd just automatically be there. We wouldn't have to download or anything. We'd just continue on to the next screen, where we'd have, all our stats and graphs and all those other tools. But using it as a tool to help people that are struggling to get through that And I guess we could probably also make this as like a transformer to output a transformer code that you can just plug into your into another app, right? So like into an R package or whatever. So that'd be the next step. Okay, so then back on desktop, so there's our past history where we had the initial commits and the first one I did yesterday. Now we have changes. So now we've got some changes in the app here. So we've got some little bit of deleted code, and we've got some new code that's going to be committed. So I'm just going to type in the details here. Actually, I'm going to show you how to do the commit through Claude Code. So normally you could just type in your description, like just a brief description, and you don't always have to put an actual, so a summary they call it, and a description over here in the bottom left here, where you're gonna make some notes about what you changed, and you might want to put some detailed notes in there. But let's ask, if you're the only one working on the project, you probably don't need to. But if you've got other people and you want them to know what you did, put it there. Okay, so I'm going to tell him this, and I accept edits. Well, I'm just going to, let's see here, Alt M. Let's just put that to plan mode for a minute. And then draft a summary and description for a commit. So he can draft up basically what he just said here. I probably could have just copied that, but if he had a long session where you'd done a lot of changes and it wasn't so easily summarized, you could ask him to summarize it. Then he can automatically push it. You could ask him to edit it. Okay, so it looks like he already done that. So he's calling this is the summary, and then this is the description. So now he's asking if he wants him to go ahead and do this. So yeah, we're going to do that. So normally we would put that in there, and now we're going to say go ahead. Okay, yo, Claude, you can do it. Okay, so you can see here, it doesn't like to do that. On plan mode, you can't do any commits. So that's a good thing to keep in mind. And I don't have to put it to that. I can just put it to the default. So proceed. Okay, you didn't like that. I had to click it over to the allow edits. Proceed. Okay, so these are, he is, tapping into the system to make these commits. Okay, the commands. Yes. Okay, so you can see Claude said he's got it done. Now these is all pushed. Commit has been pushed. And so now you've got the option to, this here is, it's suggesting what you might want to do next. And here's where you can publish the branch. So I can publish that branch. So that is okay. Okay, so that's how you do that. Just in 1 second here. Okay, so now we're at the main GitHub here, and we see we've got a new branch that we added. So now we can do this compare and pull request. I am now you can just look over this and to see here's the few little changes that have been made there. So now we're gonna create the pull request. Okay. No conflicts with branch base. Again here. All right, so then we're gonna merge the pull request. And okay, merge pull request number from Paul E. Rayburn. So Paul's approving Paul, but anyways, if somebody else was making an edit, then this is how it would get reviewed. Fixed data table vertical expansion with scrolling and text wrapping. Yep, that makes sense. So confirm that merge. Okay, merged and closed. Okay, so then, okay, so now we came back to the GitHub desktop, and we're going to go now back to the main branch because this is all resolved and pulled in, and now the main branch. Okay, so now, assuming, let's see here, yeah, there you go, 2:13 p.m. Okay, so that automatically updated the working folder in the Git repo on my hard drive. So now we're back here. Let's see here. Okay, so now you're here. I'm just gonna go back here. I'm gonna stop, soup, clean that up. I think I should be able to run the app right from here, but I'm not sure. So I'm just gonna reboot it right from the hard drive. So I know I've got the latest code in my machine. Hang on a second here. Okay, so that fired up there. I had to double click that. I had to click it on twice. So, but anyways, so run the app, and there it is. Okay. Okay, so today we're back in the app here again. So now we can go through the process again. So here, I'm not going to make you sit through it. I'm just going to do it. You've seen how it's done, and we'll see that that update is now in the main. Okay, so mapping profile and the data populating. Won't make you sit through this. Well, actually, I will. I will make you sit through this because, okay, so you can see we've deleted this out of here. So the suggested now, because we saved that new mapping profile, you can see these things that were the styles and stories, wherever that was. There it was right there, is now showing up as green, matched. And then the remarks are matched. So you can see that's all there. So now we're just going to see that the new version is not is not correct. Just hang on. Let's just see what happened there. Okay, so we missed or I missed the fetch. We got it when we come back here to the GitHub desktop. When we're pulling the request back in, we've got to actually fetch it. And we saw the file time updated because we ran the app. So I will pause it again from here, and I'll get it back to that stage. So. Okay, so back down there, now we can see that it's got the new logic for the um, scrollable table, and everything else is functioning as requested. So, I think that wraps it up. Under 30 minutes, and you can use this to edit, and we can use it to collaborate and add on to um, tools and expand on either this particular app or others. Um, and hopefully that was helpful. So, any questions or whatever, let me know, and look forward to seeing you at the next Community Asset Analysts meeting on the second Friday of this month, which is this Friday, the 14th. Okay, thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.